What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is the Reign of Horror, and I am your host, Nerd Cosa Nostra. I hope everyone is having a good day and a good evening. If you're already into the next day and you're ahead of me, then I hope you are having a good morning and a good day thus far. I feel we've had a lot of recent news coming up in the horror space, which is always good. I think that's always a good thing. I'm always excited to see us getting updates, getting news, whether it's on and I've said this before. I mean, y'all know how I feel about remakes and reboots. While I'm not always fully on board with them, I'm not saying that they are never good or they're never successful. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they get the wheels moving, so to speak, for our genre, and gets more eyes, gets more attention for us, which is always a great thing, which is what I love to see. With that said, I do though love when we get new takes, fresh ideas, new franchises or new movies out there that whether it's a new killer, a new villain, something that we just and again, I know many horror films take inspiration and take things from what came before them. I think that happens in many films, whether it's films, TV shows, many genres. Obviously, it definitely happens in the horror space. Now, with that said, though, I do think there are some areas where even if there was something pre-existing, putting a horror spin on it or putting your own stamp on it to make it your own, I think is still something that is very well done in our space. And like I said, that's why I'm always open and loving to see some fresh takes and ideas. So we have a few topics that we're going to cover tonight. Nothing too crazy. Two of the topics did come out with some trailers, though. So we are going to take a look at those trailers and let me know what you all think. And if you think that these are looking like some promising films, let me know down in the comments. If you don't think, man, these look horrible, why are we wasting our time? Spending the money and putting attention on these, which may not be a good light. Let me know that as well. I mean, very subjective. Films and TV shows are very subjective, right? You're gonna like what you like. I'm gonna like what I like, and sometimes it may not be the same thing, but sometimes it might be the same thing. And I think within the horror community, many of us tend to like much of the same films. While don't get me wrong, there are some. I mean, everyone knows I'm not a big fan of, for example, like Child's Play. I'm not a fan of the Chucky character. I'm not a big fan on that franchise. So that's not to say I haven't watched the franchise. I haven't watched it multiple times to try to garner some love for it. But over the years, no matter how many times I try, no matter how many times I try to leave some time in between watching it, I can never get fully on board with it. Just never can draw me in. So that would just be like one example. So before we get into our topics, if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It definitely helps us out. And please throw a like on this video and a comment if there's, if you agree or disagree with anything I've said, or if there's something you want to see in a future video that you'd like us to cover, whether that's a specific film, TV show, what have you, or if there's something you'd like to see the channel bring to the audience. We're definitely open to any suggestions you might have. So yeah, let us know down in the comments. All right, so let's jump right into our first topic of the evening. And now I want to be clear. While we're not crossing. So this channel is not crossing over into the MCU territory. We're not crossing over into general entertainment movie topics or comic like MCU DC topics. Now, however, with that said, the reason we're covering this Blade topic is because vampires fall, in my opinion, within the horror genre. We cover anything horror related, so that's why we're talking about Blade, this reboot. That's the only reason why I'm bringing this topic to the table, is because you may or may not know, this is the Blade reboot has been talked about, speculated for years. It keeps getting different directors, different writers. It keeps getting new dates pushed out, and up until this recent news from yesterday, the news was it's on hold indefinitely. And we got that a couple weeks ago, and we all knew that was, and many of us knew that was coming. We all knew that was coming. It was just a matter of why don't they just come out and say it? And why don't you rather say that it's on hold or on an indefinite hold? Just come out and say it's canceled. It's just that simple. The movie isn't going to happen. The actor and actresses have started to move on. They're involved in other projects. They've already completed other projects and then are now filming even a second or third project. They're not waiting for this one anymore, and it's unfortunate because it's vampires. It's a daywalker vampire killing other vampires. How hard can this be? And we all know, as fans of horror, it's not that hard. And I think, and while it wasn't, it was vampires and werewolves killing each other. I think something as simple as the first Underworld movie, simple. I mean, obviously, as the Underworld franchise continued, it got a little bit. Some of them got a bit more. Okay, I'm past this. Don't really need this one now. I've seen every Blade film. Sorry, not Blade film, but Underworld film in theater. It was one of those franchises that when it came out, I was hooked because I enjoyed the dark goth look, especially when you have vampires and lycans or werewolves. Fighting each other for centuries, and we're following this story. And then as the franchise went on, we got that prequel a bit to kind of go back and see how it kind of started, and especially with some of the characters and the fact that many of the actors that were in the original were coming back and doing the sequels, which was a big, huge win for me, because if you're gonna do stuff like that, especially a prequel, you got to have these original actors in it just for it to feel legit, for it to have some weight to it. And they did that, which I enjoyed. So again, focusing on just the first one though, if you can make that work, how can you not make Blade work? It's just beyond me. But this goes on to talk about Kevin Feige updates on Blade Reboot, remains committed to the character. So real quickly, like I always do, I will link all these articles in the description of this video. So if you want to check out the details a bit further than what we cover here on the show, they will be there for you, so you don't have to necessarily go searching for what we are going through. But ultimately, what this is saying is that Kevin Feige was recently obviously at D23 in Brazil. That the topic of Blade came up, and I believe there's a quote down here. Let's just get right to that. For the last few years, as we've been tracking to crack the movie, the most important thing for us is not rushing it, and we're making sure we are making the right Blade movie. Feige previously shared. He continues, there were some great Blade movies years ago. They are all radar. So I think that's inherent, like Deadpool, inherent with the character of Blade. I agree. So that's where the article ends. Again, I just want to really cover the topic and the quotes. Really, again, if you want to read some of this other stuff, which doesn't really get into the nitty gritty of what's going on. Outside of this here, which I mentioned years ago, they announced this at Comic-Con in 2019. We're going into 2025. Come on, it should not have taken this long to get this going. And the fact that you're going to now try to come out and convince us all that, oh, we're still committed to the character. Well, I'm sorry, but Mr. Ali, who is going to be our new Blade, I don't think he's that committed. he might be saying he's committed. In my opinion, he might be saying it for quote unquote political, like playing the political game within Hollywood, saying, yeah, I'm still all for it. But ultimately, is he really? And my thing is, if you guys aren't going to do it, you guys as in the studio heads, Kevin Feige, if you're not going to do it, just say, hey, we're not doing it. We've decided to move on. It's not going to fit in our long-term plans for where we want to take the MCU. Then move on. Because we know they're not going to just do a standalone Blade film outside of the MCU, which is unfortunate because, again, who doesn't like vampires killing vampires? It's that simple. So again, only reason why we're bringing it up on the Reign of Horror, again, because it's vampire related. Beyond that, I don't think this is going to happen. I have no confidence that it's going to happen. And if it does, it's going to be years down the road. And by then, what's the interest going to be of many of the people that were originally casted to be in the film? So disappointed for sure, but it is what it is. That's the business, I guess, right? So anyways, moving right along to our next topic. How to Kill Monsters trailer unleashes gory splastic. I've never heard that word before, but splastic creature feature. So we're going to jump into this one because this is definitely more down our alley. We don't have to worry about MCU, DCU stuff. So this is more what we're talking about. This is more what we like to talk about here on Reign of Horror. The sole survivor of a blood-drenched massacre must team up with a ragtag bunch to defend a police station from an invasion of Lovecraftian monsters in How to Kill Monsters, and the official How to Kill Monsters trailer highlights many of the practical creatures within. Dark Sky Films releases How to Kill Monsters on digital on December 6, 2024. So we are less than, just a few weeks away before we get this on digital. So director Stuart Spark describes How to Kill Monsters as a love letter to the 80s and 90s horror movies that I grew up watching on VHS. Stuart promises that the movie will inject a dash of British humor in the vein of Hot Fuzz and self-aware twists and turns of Scream to deliver genre fans a blood-soaked popcorn horror movie that feels both nostalgic and fresh. Which is what we like to, and I talk about that all the time. I talk about fresh. I think I've even talked about it at the beginning of this show. Fresh ideas, new takes. Let's see it. I'm all for it. So we have a synopsis here. I'm not going to read through the synopsis because we're just going to go right to the trailer. So we have some of the casting here. So let's just get right to the trailer. All right. So I'm sure that's what we all want to see here. So let's get this started. 1 second.
Jamie, I'm just here for the truth. No matter how strange or bizarre it is. What the hell was that?
You just said...
All right, let's just start from the beginning. Before the screaming.
Got it.
A cabin in the woods. A ritual that summons some kind of monster which conveniently disappeared. Oh, and a chainsaw. I mean, come on. It's been done.
We are all in danger. Whatever power brought that monster into our world is still out there. And if we don't stop it, we are all going to die.
Bob! Did they get Bob? What about Bob?
You're standing on him!
Oh,
Give it to me. I am the destroyer of worlds. The never-ending darkness.
What you face tonight is nothing compared to what's out there.
Believe me now?
So I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's definitely a new take. And I say new take meaning it's not something we've seen, especially this year for 2024 with all the horror films we've gotten this year. This is definitely something that stands out above. I won't say above the rest, but stands out on its own. Not something we've seen. And yes, it definitely has that 80s, 90s, especially that 80s nostalgic look on some of the graphics, some of the CGI work. Nostalgic from a 90s perspective when you think about some of the humor, when you think about Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead. You can feel some of that humor injected into it. But again, I'm all for stuff like this. I'll definitely give this one a try when it comes out on digital here in a few weeks. It says opens December 6th in theaters and on demand. I haven't seen this one advertised in any of my local cinemas as far as something that's coming up. But the fact that they're releasing it on demand on the same day, I'll more if I can't find a local cinema here where I'm at to go see it, I'll just look to find it on digital somewhere and give it a watch, and we'll definitely do a review on this one because I love stuff like this. I love it when it has that. I mean, I'm an '80s kid. I love that nostalgic look, that nostalgic feeling, '90s kidded. So Yeah, definitely something we'll be checking out. We'll do a review on. But if you didn't know it's coming out, now you do, and let us know what you think. Is this something that you're gonna be checking out as well in a few weeks? But it definitely looks. I mean, from what we saw, and just like in this image here, they're definitely gonna be bringing some gore to this particular film, which we enjoy. I mean, this is a channel that loves the Terrifier franchise, right? So what's a horror genre, a horror movie if you don't have gore in it, right? So happy to see more of it. I encourage more of it. I hope they keep bringing it in future films as well. So I will keep everyone updated here in a few weeks once this one drops. And like I said, we will do a movie review on this one because definitely interested to see how this one plays out. So moving into our last topic of the show, which is Heart Eyes promises neon campery in first teaser. So again, we have another film that we're going to be checking out a teaser trailer on. So let's just jump into some of the details of this real quick. So the movie is called Heart Eyes, if you didn't gather that already. So you're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off you. So I can't imagine. So depending upon how old you are, or maybe not even how old you are, as well as maybe the type of music you listen to, you may or may not know that line. So it is from a song, at least a song done. I'm sure not only done by, but when I hear that, I think of Frankie Valli. So I'm a huge Frankie Valli fan. I know, hard to believe. Someone who's doing a Reign of Horror, or doing a horror channel and show, loves Terrifier, loves Michael Myers, but also will definitely go over to the vinyl player and put on some Frankie Valli or the Four Seasons. So again, just a little tidbit. Time is rapidly moving on, and fans were beginning to wonder, where is the promo for Sony Pictures comedy horror slasher Heart Eyes? With just 4 months to go until Pictures release, wonder no more as we're gifted an intriguing red band teaser. Whilst giving little away, what we do see appears promising. Set to the strains of Frankie Valli's I Love You Baby, we see only brief glimpses of the campy carnage awaiting us. In the clip's most memorable moment, our killer forces a female victim on the weapon protruding from her dead boyfriend as she sits astride him. The resulting implement exists through the back of her head in gloriously over-the-top fashion. So we have some of the director information, let's see here. Yeah, some director information, genre, some of the cast. Okay, here we go. So synopsis. The movie follows two co-workers mistaken for a couple targeted by the infamous Heart Eyes killer. They must spend their Valentine's Day trying to dodge the maniac's attacks. Unfortunately, we only get the briefest glimpse of our villain's heart eye emoji mask in the teaser, but it's been enough to make the fans curious. So set for February 7th, 2025, Heart Eyes will release via Sony through their Screen Gems label in the U.S. Elsewhere, the slasher will be distributed by Republic Pictures, a subsidiary of Paramount. Just a brief question there. So it looks like we're going to get this, in 3 months, give or take? Yeah, let's see, December, just a little over 3 months. 2.5, 3 months. But yeah, let's check out this teaser trailer and see what this one's about. So let's go. Let's get into it.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. And I thank God every night. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Let me love you.
Let's go. Come on. How can you deny that kill right there? I mean, come on. And then you got these other two just watching this happen, thinking we're screwed. Yes, give me more of this. Give me all of this. I cannot wait to see this drop. I cannot wait to see this film in February. This will definitely be something that if it is playing in a local cinema for me, I will be checking out. And if not, if they happen to do, straight to digital, like the last one where they kind of do cinema and digital at the same time, I'll definitely be getting it on digital, and we will be doing, at minimum, doing a movie review. And if anything, this might just be one for a watch party on the channel because, that's what I'm talking about. That looks pretty diabolical there. So we will be following this one. Hopefully since again this was just a teaser trailer, so hopefully we will get so we have about like 2.5-3 months before this drops, so hopefully we will get a full trailer at some point, maybe in the next month, that will give us a little bit more look of Hard Eyes, of the killer. But that version of Frankie Valli's song, that wasn't Frankie Valli, FYI, singing that. Definitely didn't sound like him. But that version, though, of the song definitely fits this teaser trailer. Absolutely fits it. So we will be following this one for sure, and I cannot wait to see it. So more to come on this one. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for the show today. I appreciate you spending spending a few moments with me, going through some of the topics we've covered. We got two movies that are going to be coming out here. We got one coming out next month. We have another one coming out in 2 months that both look great. Like I said, we will be checking them both out here on Reign of Horror. And if we can, and if there's a want for it or a desire for it, we might just do watch parties for both on the channel. And just let the audience kind of sit back, and what we'll try to do is get it up on Twitch, give everyone a link over to our Twitch channel, and we'll live stream here while we watch the movies, and we'll get some people on the panel just to kind of talk through them, get their initial reactions as we watch it, and then get your reactions in the comment section. So we'll look to see what we can do. All right, everyone. Again, thank you for spending your evening here with us at Reign of Horror. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe. It definitely helps out the channel. And please give a like on the video. If you have anything you would like to let us know about, just drop a comment in the comment section. Otherwise, we will see you at the next one. Peace.